Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think we're good. Start recording there. And we'll go live here. I think we're good to go. I should put lights on, huh? It's kind of dark here. Let me put the lights on. I am now live. Okay. We have the podcast on. Make sure this camera's on here. Yeah, I think that's on. And you guys are here. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Your mom's pool boy. Wow, interesting name. Good to see you nonetheless. Hello, everyone. Arnef, Mari. Yeah, Bakasai, 89. Good seeing you. Good afternoon, R35, R13. You're hardcore. Good seeing you. Good morning to you as well, sir. Hi, Sean Lee, neighbor. Good seeing you, sir. Good evening, Aden Good from across the pond. Darkwith, good seeing you. When are we going to see a diesel? I don't know, maybe anytime soon, because, you know, OEMs are starting to shy away from a lot of diesel technology. It's a bit dirty. It's a bit dark, isn't it? I should probably put this light on. I don't know. Anyway. Yes. I was really heavily influenced by this weekend at IBOC, and Duran over there, he's a bad influence, and Kevin is a bad influence. I have all these bad influences, and she is going to be out soon. Dippin' Deep is good seeing you as well. Good putting a face to the name. Thank you so much. Good morning, Gareth. Good seeing you. Sam, long time no speak. Good seeing you, sir. AJ, so good to see you and your wonderful fiance. It was great spending time with you guys. Fantastic seeing you here as well. Any words? Oh, I'm supposed to check for you, huh? I'm gonna go upstairs and check and see after we're done with this. Greaser! Hello, so for this, Greaser Design, he's a good guy, very talented artist, and he's gonna draw something up for me soon that I will build. How cool is that? Fox, IBOC was bananas. I'm so embarrassed, and I was telling Duran that earlier on that I didn't have Stitch running. If this car was out there at that event, it would have been absolutely fantastic. Hello, Dan, good seeing you. Hope all is well. Can't wait to see you finish your Mazda powered by Toyota, and look forward to tuning that. Hello, Sub Moina. Good seeing you. Fit's been great, actually. Long time no see. This Fit moves. Good afternoon. Indonesia's in the house. Hello, Denny. Thanks for joining us all across the pond. Honda Pro. Yes, thank you, Honda Pro. You know what, Jason? Honda's been my first love. Always has been, and that will never change. So that being said, you'll see many events from time to time, and the Insight is going back together. And our friends from Hoonigan are going to cover. They're going to cover the build. They're going to cover us at the track. It's going to be pretty crazy. So expect to see some wonderful things from all of us. Hello, Atlanta's in the house. Good seeing you. Yeah, that'd be really good. I look forward to that as well. Is it possible to build an all-wheel drive NA Miata? Yes, it is. Extremely possible. It'll take quite a bit of fabrication, but it can be done. Dion, thank you so much. I know, this has been so awesome. This is my 2006 Insight, broke a ton of records. If those of you who have been to my office can see I have a lot of trophies. A majority of those trophies came from this car. It was the first front-wheel drive to ever hit 150 miles an hour in natural aspirated trim. And above and beyond that was the most protested race car ever in the whole sport compact scene. Imagine that. Being that it was a single cam that ran low nines. Full unibody as well. I still have a stock windshield on that. Thank you, Jason. I look forward to seeing you as well. Yes, by all means. Yeah, Stitch is good. Stitch was the son of Nemo, which was the CRX we did before, you know. What I think of pure electric motors, I think they're awesome. I think that's the future of technology, and I love the fact that you can have 100% torque at 1 RPM, which allows you to have a lot of fun as well, you know. What EF dual core radiator do I recommend? The ones from CSF. They have a very nice one. With today's tech, how much power do you think you could get out of NAF22 compared to back in the day? I think we do a lot more. Now, you know what really limited us quite a bit, AJ, when we were running NA? Not only did we have weight and displacement limits, we had limitations on what we could run for fuel. Nowadays, Duran, you can attest to this. It's like the Wild Wild West out here in drag racing. It's like there's no weight limitations anymore, which I don't get. So there's no equalizers in terms of power. There's no limitation. I've seen people with body mods. There's no limitations to that. I've seen everything from extended front ends to forks or fins right in front of a front end. Fuel, people are boasting that they're adding very interesting oxygenates and caloric content fuels or additives to their fuel. There are no fuel tests anymore. So AJ, to answer your question, the sky is the limit. As long as the engine can hold together during a pass, you can do anything nowadays, which wasn't what we had before. You know? Yeah, Hedi's asking if you're here, Duran. Yep, he's waving, so Duran's there. Hello, Dr. Ahmed. Good seeing you, sir. Yeah, nitro. People are adding nitromethane, which is a known carcinogen, by the way. And people don't understand how dangerous that could be as a fuel to your engine as well, and what it can do to the center of your piston. It's pretty crazy. Have you ever done a mile per gallon test on any of your vehicles? What would you have done to get the engine in order to maximize economy and efficiency? Yes, I have. So if you do a search, let me see what your name is here, Psycho. If you do a search on the Bisimoto Ionic, you will see something we did where we took the factory aerodynamics and pushed the envelope much further, in allowing us to really push through the air very easily. Gearing was a huge friend of ours, so we reduced the numerical final drive value by using much larger circumference tires. And then speaking of tires and wheels, we went super lightweight. I went full carbon fiber wheels to lighten things up. They weren't DOT approved, so I couldn't drive it around the streets, but it was very, very good in seeing how much energy is being absorbed by weight, rotational weight. And then we used a very narrow, high fuel efficiency, low rolling resistance tire system, which is pretty interesting, you know? I know it's the Kevin and it's the Chris and Heather lifetime shot after this, you know? When am I gonna race again? So if it's up to Kevin, I'll be racing tonight. For those of you who may see right there, that's the wagon right there on the lift. So guess what? We've done all the photo shoots for Super Street. It's been to a bunch of events. It's now time to break stuff. It's now time to have some fun on the track. So Automotive KMD was able to give us an upgraded rear diff assembly. Kevin came in today and was able to give me more adjustment for my toe, which was really not in a good place. I have an appointment tomorrow with ChewWorks to do the alignment on the wagon. And then, weather permitting, because it's been raining recently in Southern California, we are going to go and start testing at Irwindale. One thing I do know, and I'll share with you as my family, is that the gearing in the wagon right now is not optimized for a proper quarter mile or half mile run. The numerical value of my final drive is a 475, which is very, very high numerically. And my shifts are very, very short. So I need to reach out. Hey, we need to do that. We need to call Dale and reach out to him and try and do something with a final drive. Maybe go to a 4.0 or 3.8, which would be very good, you know? So yeah, and by the way, as I test, whether I'm breaking stuff or successful, you guys will be along the ride with me. I'll film inside the car. If the truck will let me put a drone up, I have a drone up front that I'd like to have follow us. It's gonna be really interesting. So if we're gonna break stuff, we are, and then we're gonna figure it out and keep going. I'm not gonna stop until that wagon is absolutely bananas and frightening to everyone who comes across it. Yeah, I know, Kevin, 3.8 would be ideal. I would love to be able to finish the quarter mile in 4th gear instead of going to 5th, which would be great, you know? Yeah, 3.8 would be better, but it's not what I have in there now. But I'm definitely, yeah, I know, it is really short. So for any application, a 4.7 is perfect, especially since I think my circumference is a 23-inch tire on it now. And then we'll full send it. I'm glad I didn't listen to you, Kevin and Hedy, because we would definitely have problems without a proper alignment and with kind of the engagement I had on my toe linkage. Man, thank God we fixed that recently. Hello, Mike. Good seeing you. Let's break it. Let's do it. Wagon Mafia, right? We need to do that, Mike. We need to make it happen. And show people that a wagon can be fun, practical, and fast. How about that? Sounds good? Beautiful. Do you think the wagon could run 7s with 15s until it was power to weight ratio? Yeah, it could run 7s in an 1/8 mile, but not in a quarter, not with that. It will require some serious upgrades to my fuel system and my gearing and probably my drivetrain to withstand the current weight, which I'll find out what it is tomorrow, to make that happen. Is it possible? Yes, but it will require more investment in chassis to get to that point, you know? Did anything at iBox surprise me in a good way? Yes, Dip and Deep. Apart from people racing without tunes, I'm joking. What surprised me was the sheer amount of people who were at that event. I was very pleasantly surprised. It was, rumor had it there were like 10,000 people there. And the fact that there was great camaraderie between the drag race guys, the show guys, it was really, really cool. And the midway was just absolutely fantastic. Shopify is in the house. Good seeing you, Clintown. Hope all is well. Do you race it? Okay, let's see. Do you race it with the four-wheel drive engage? Yes, Tay93. So what I have from Automotive KMD is this assembly that mimics what you have from factory from a CRV, where when you're driving around, it's in proper two-wheel mode, so it allows you to have great gas mileage and not much strain on the engine and so on and so forth. But as there is a differential between the front speed and the rear speed wheels, the differential locks up in the rear, and now you have all-wheel drive. So, and I tested it. Steve, who's from Automotive KMD, had me test this for, or break it in for like about 30 miles. So I actually put 60 miles on it. And then on the back straight here, I tested it, we matched that. I showed that, oh my God, this thing is fast. It's really, really fast. It hooks beautifully. It's great. EG8 single cam? Yes, I am. I have tons. And speaking of D-Series parts, look what I have here. I even have an intake heat shielding gasket because I get so many questions about cost-effective mods that people can do, especially with the Ds and the Bs, and definitely the S2000s and the Type Rs and B16s. I even have it for 4AGE. I have it for the Evos. I think I still have a few for the A-Series Hondas and even ZC twin cams or D16s. And this is a very cost-effective mod, which is very easy to do. It's just an intake heat shielding gasket. They typically retail for $59, and this high temperature material, which is like a space age phenolic, I have this for $24 shipped all across the world. So this allowed, from what I saw on the dyno, the fact that it alienates the intake heat from the exhaust rejection, whether it's heat being radiated or heat from the engine bay or underhood temperatures, this does a very good job at alienating that engine heat from the intake, allowing you to have a denser intake charge and a lot more power. So that being said, this is a very cost-effective mod, and this intake gasket is very reusable. So you may buy a Felpro, which is pretty cost-effective. You may get it for like $29, $30, $34, and you can only use it once, and it's like a paper-based gasket. This is reusable. So by all means, this is the way to go. So we have plenty online. I think I said Type R. We have for the B16. We have a few for the D series. This is for D16Y8. We have a Z6. We have the A6. We have a ton for the 4AGEs and Evos and Subarus and so on and so forth. So it's pretty good, you know? It was good seeing you as well, MJ Photograph, my neighbor, very talented photographer as well. And I was very, very shocked and ashamed that I didn't have this running for that event because it would have been on and cracking. What cam do I recommend for Z6 for 600 horsepower rating? It depends. If you have a larger turbo where you have to buzz it, as in rev the RPMs towards 9,000 or so, then you need a D16 Z6, the Bisimoto level 3.6. If you have a much smaller turbocharger, let's say you're hovering in the 50 range, 57, 59, 60 millimeter range for your inducer, you can get that power with the level 2.4. But the 3.6 will get you there much easier. It's a larger performance cam. If idle quality is important to you, yeah, stay with the 2.4. But if you don't mind a rough idle, a slightly rough idle, by all means, the level 3.6 is the way to go. That's what I had on my Wagon van, and we made north of 700, no problem. And that's what the guys from Speed Factory use in their cars, and all the guys running, making 700, 800 horsepower, that's what they use, 1993 Accord, which transmission is best for performance on NA built H series or B series on F22A motor? I would say definitely if you can do H to B, that's the way to go, because it allows you to have the torque multiplication that you need for NA performance. It's much lighter than the H22 one. Doesn't have a cable operated system. It can bind a little bit. And above and beyond that, there's a ton of aftermarket support, which is the way to go, Yes, Dion Trail says, next year's iBach that I'll be racing, hint, hint. Yes. For those of you on YouTube, you heard it first. I'll be racing. For those of you listening on podcasting, I will be racing that, and possibly even that, at the event next year. I will be there by all means, Duran is telling you get the boxer running. I mean, Hetty's saying get the boxer running, Duran. This is pretty crazy. He's just ignoring you, Hetty. My pleasure. Thank you as well, Ryder, by all means. And you know what? One thing about, having project cars and so on and so forth, it creates a lot of stress. And I'm sure a lot of you, if not all of you, experience a lot of stress from that time. How does Secret Service AP? That being said, there's something I really want to mention. I've had a lot of things go on here at the office and through my personal life where it induces a lot of stress. And that being said, you know what I did notice and it's helped me tremendously? Being stressed is something that comes from within. How you react to things, how you behave towards things, whether they're difficult or challenging, can allow you to induce or not induce stress upon yourself. So even here, the team was wondering, hey, BC, you're almost 1 minute late to your Tech Tuesday. You're just waltzing, because I didn't want to stress out about it, because usually I do. Being able to look at things from a positive perspective and not letting things get to you and stress you out can go a long way in reducing stress and allowing you to have a lot of fun, nonetheless, you know. Gabriel's watching our fastest cars and my van. Thank you so much. That's the van right there. You see the top right there? That's it. And we're actually filming something with, I believe, Donut Garage on Thursday? No, Friday. So I'm going to be taking the van down to LA and we'll have a lot of fun, which is pretty cool. I love that van. And I'm sorry that I didn't put on a great show for you, Gabriel, with the van not winning that event, but I'm very happy it didn't, because if the van won, that wagon wouldn't exist. And I love that wagon. That thing is Hetty can attest, Kevin can attest, that's the fastest thing in my shop here, is this wagon van, which is pretty crazy, you know. Trying to figure out if I should stick with water to air after 600 horsepower on my own Sentra. If you can do liquid to air, honestly do it. Liquid to air systems are extremely efficient. Take away the slight complexity of the system with the pumps and external heat exchanger and the reservoir and so on and so forth. I love liquid to air setups. Air to airs are very straightforward and fairly efficient, but it's almost impossible without a very good fine design to have a low pressure drop on an air to air system and have temperatures in your intake close to ambient. But you can do that with liquid to air. And if you're really crazy, if you have a separate reservoir, you can go below ambient air temps by putting ice in there. So imagine that. You can have your air inside your engine post-turbo hover in the 50s and 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which does a great job in creating reliable power for you. And having a dense mixture with the appropriate amount of fuel can make a lot more power, which is pretty cool, you know. Gabriel said he thinks I should all-wheel drive the family van. I would really love to, but you know what? I want to leave that as is. I kind of want to leave it front-wheel drive. I want to be reminded of the challenges of that. And I kind of want to, even with the fabrication that's in the car, we can take time and make it look really pretty now, but that van had to be built in 7 weeks, and there's a lot of things that are rushed and didn't look proper, and I want that reminder. So the van is unique as a front-wheel drive, two-wheel drive setup. I want to leave it as is. It can also be very invasive to be able to convert to all-wheel drive, but the main thing is I kind of want to keep its integrity and legacy together, and then have this lighter all-wheel drive setup with modern technology and a sequential gearbox intact as well, which is pretty nice, you know? It is, yeah, Kevin's right. It's way a lot of work. It's like equivalent to building another car just to convert that to all-wheel drive, you know? Anything to help air-to-air cooling? Yes, you can introduce an external cooling medium. Some people have nozzles around it with nitrous. Some people inject water. There are quite a few things you could do, or even design it properly. Hello, Brazil's in the house. Good seeing you. Hello, Victor La. 143, greetings. Good seeing you all, you know. Yes, R35 mentioned a medical point that on the fastest car in our episode, the other cars have slicks. Say if they did, I obey rules. And despite the fact that some people kept sending agents here to make sure that our cars were within rules, I do pay attention. And you know what? Once again, imagine a world that if I followed suit and ran slicks on the van, what if I did well? The Wagyu van wouldn't exist. This Wagyu van exists today as a revenge car for season 3 for that fastest car event. So I'm very happy. And as I drive the wagon, it's so much fun. And I'm glad. I always wanted to have my wagon. My original wagon kept getting approached to be broken into and stolen. So that's why I parted it out. And above and beyond that, the van is something I built to build something more modern that wouldn't be easier to steal and had more power, but she is comfortable with AC and power steering, is heavy, and doesn't hook up very well from a dig. Now on the freeway, she is frightening. But after that, oh no, it's not, it's on. But the wagon, I need that final drive. I need to fix that final drive. Gerard, I need to fix that final drive really badly. And that way I can have an opportunity to take that to some half mile and embarrass a few exotics and then have some fun on a quarter mile, not have just, you know, hover around 8 mile tracks, which would be pretty cool. Angel's asking, do I have an all-wheel drive dyno? No, right here I'm looking at the 2 pods. I only have a 2-wheel drive setup. When I have the occasional all-wheel drive Porsche, I tend to disable the drive shafts for those. I've even elevated cars when they allow me to. If there's a car that needs a direct cog between front and rear, like a all-wheel drive NSX, I can use my dyno. On the wagon, I just disable the drive shaft and then tune it as a front-wheel drive and connect it afterwards, you know. Hello, Foxman007. Good seeing you. Hope everything is well. I'm missing so many good questions here, you know. Oh, so Duran, Dippin' Deep said that his Odyssey beat a Ford Pinto at Fontana, that you saw it. Jeron's laughing. That must have been an interesting race. Huh. How did Pinto sound? Did it sound pretty aggressive?
What was that?
How did Pinto sound? Did it sound pretty aggressive?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
Oh. Jeron said he wasn't there. Oh my God. Ernie is asking, Ernie to McFly, very cool name. Would I recommend E85 for a slightly higher compression D series? Yes. I love ethanol. Not to consume myself. I mean, it's fun once in a while, but I love ethanol as a fuel. And the cool thing about ethanol as a fuel is it allows me the opportunity to have higher caloric content for every amount of air burned. So for amount of air your engine ingests, you can create more heat, make more power with that. It has higher anti-knock properties. It's very cost effective compared to racing fuels. And it smells pretty good. So that being said, yes, by all means, if your fuel system can support it, and it should if it doesn't, by all means, go ahead and do it, you know, which is pretty nice. Foxman said he's still on a job hunt. It's pretty good. How's life things in Cali? California is fantastic. We're having some strange weather of recent. And you know what I heard? I heard a very interesting statistic that last year was the first year ever since recorded history that the population of California did actually not increase. So as you're asking about California, it seems that people are leaving the state of California and go to other states just primarily, if I had to guess, due to cost of living issues, you know. Kevin says that E85 smells like burnt corn. It smells like kind of tequila-ish to me. It smells like good. I like the smell of that, you know. Yeah, Dion, I agree with you. It is the way to go. Senna GA16DE from Chile. Good seeing you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on another episode of the Bisimoto Tech Tuesday. Really appreciate that, you know. Gabriel says his buddy has a Chevy SS truck two-door with a GMC Pro Charge with methanol. And methanol is even better when it comes to caloric content and how it creates more heat. It has a wonderful low latent heat of vaporization, meaning as it's injected into an airstream, it cools down the air and atomizes even further in the process, creating even finer droplets and more heat. The challenge with methanol as a fuel is that it is very corrosive and attacks aluminum like there's no tomorrow, and can devulcanize rubber as well. So what you tend to do is after your race weekend, you definitely want to pickle your system, meaning drain the methanol out and put in regular fuel in it just to keep things nice, you know? Yeah, everyone's leaving to the south. You're absolutely correct. Absolutely. EPA is a challenge here in California too. You can go to Texas and have all the fun you want. You can have an exhaust out the hood, out the front, out the back, no header, anything you want. You can route into the driver compartment. I'm joking, you shouldn't do that. But just saying that in other states, you can have a lot of fun, which is pretty cool. I know. But you know, the Environmental Protection Agency is here, as the name implies, to protect us. So I just feel that the resource board does take it a little bit too far. But you know what? It keeps us in an environment where we're extremely creative here in California. So that being said, yeah, I had to tow the inside to the track. I couldn't just drive it even to the raceways nearby. I have to do very creative things with projects and so on and so forth. It's weird, you know. Stop it, AJ. Shame on you. Dippin' Deek is saying, am I on stick? If you mean manual gearbox on the cars, yes. So manual gearbox on the inside, manual gearbox on the wagon. That Porsche up there is actually an automatic that Duran's working on. The Odyssey was converted from automatic to manual as well, you know. Am I on stock rear training arms on inside? No, Dippin' Deep. On the rear, you know, I'm going to do when we finish getting this together, we're going to go to Build Biology, and please do tune in, and I'll make sure I announce it when I'm on Hoonigan, but I have a very clever system in the rear where it's still not independent. The factory came with a standard solid axle, but it's a much lighter weight tubular solid axle in the rear, and it utilizes factory mounting points, still like factory, but I did something very clever with my wheelie bar system that allows me to extend my wheelbase upon launch. And it's shocking that people would protest me saying that I'm using my AEM to control my suspension, which I wasn't. I was just using simple physics and more of a very simplified cantilever system to allow my car to hook up nicely and give me very good traction off the line. So, yes, Kevin, it may rain this week. I'm going to go and get an alignment tomorrow, but next week for sure we can have some fun. And I'm hoping, I think one thing that many of you noticed is that I have very soft engine mounts on the wagon as well. You guys saw the video that Super Street did. And if you haven't looked at it, go on Super Street's feed and you see the video posted. And I think I posted on my feed earlier as well. but you'll see that my engine tends to move when I get in and out. Now, it's not that I have a broken engine mount. I have very soft mounts so that the vibration doesn't get transferred into the cabin with me. So that being said, saw Brian from Hasport this weekend. He's going to send some Hydrometer mounts to us. And I'm going to swap out the inserts and put some heavy ones in, and then we should have a lot of fun on the track because I'm going to launch the crap out of this wagon. I'm going to start off with the street tires with R888s, and then go to some sticker compounds from Toyo a little bit later, which should be pretty nice, you know. Kind of inside run next week is totally, Kevin, up to our friends from Gonigo. So the blocks, I dropped off 2 engines. I'm really frugal. And when I say frugal, to help my partners. So I didn't send a new block. I sent my old blocks that were sleeved where I've cleaned them up so many times that my piston to wall clearance is pretty generous, which I got one for free, and I picked up the other block from a local Pico Par for $200 and sent that to get re-sleeved. So once it's re-sleeved with the pistons, I'll throw some troms in there. I'm a huge advocate of aluminum rods, and then I'll be able to slap the head on, check the head, make sure it's good, send my injectors out to get cleaned, and then put on a dyno and see where we are. And break her in on a dyno, and then take it to the track and send it. As you say send it. I'll send it properly, Kevin. Thank you. I can't wait either. I don't know what's going to happen. I've done a lot of rolling flat footing, and it hauls. But I haven't launched it from a standing start. So that's going to be interesting. Yes, 3 Generic C2. This is my Honda Insight race car, which I love so much. She's really awesome. Full unibody and front stock windshield. Has a cool, I don't know if you guys can see that much around it there. You can see it has the parachute right there. It has the mount for the wheelie bar and so on and so forth. Or as we say in the Honda, we're a traction bar, which is pretty cool. You know, that's really nice. Hello, Wait Watt. Good seeing you. How many miles have I put on the van? Oh my goodness. I can put it this way. I think when we filmed Top Gear, Rutledge himself put over 3,000 miles just himself. That was in a week. So on the van, I think we have about a little over 20, maybe close to 20,000? I think so. Yes, Dion Treros is asking, am I going to stay naturally aspirated on the inside? There was talk with the team and the crew from Turbonext to upgrade this to turbocharging, but I derive a very peculiar pleasure in beating turbo cars with a natural aspirated setup. So it's going to stay NA for now, you know. That'd be great. SMS designs and performance. It'd be great seeing you by all means, you know. In a week. Wow. Have I met you, Foxman? I don't think we have. It'd be great making your acquaintance. That'd be very nice, actually. So that being said, I just want to stay natural aspirated, and I talked a little bit about starting a division known as Moto Fuels. We talked about it before, where I can play around with some exotic fuel formulations for all of you, and maybe I'll test it. I'll test it on this car and see what I can do to play around and extract some good power, and then if I have a compound that I found that's very good, I'll launch it. Put that chemical engineering degree to use again, which is pretty good, you know? Oh, everyone, IBOC was in awe of how big my charge pipe was. Yes, it's 4 inches. 4 inches of my charge pipe is pretty big, you know? Thank you so much. You do? Oh, SMS, please talk about, I'm curious to know about your Mustang. I love Mustangs, they're pretty cool. I'm curious to hear what it does and what mods you have, you know? Thank you, G2 Delo. Thank you so much for the kind words. Good seeing you as well. Is it really dark in here? Because if it's dark, I can open this crazy gate behind me, you know? Oh, 1750, that's NA, that's pretty freaking fast. That's really nice. That's really nice, you know? That's really, really cool. Hey, Slug, good seeing you. Oh, beautiful. Well, 2BV Dave Vader, please, by all means, call in and Lindsay can get you in the books, no problem. What other degrees or studies have you done? I have an Associate of Arts in Pure and Applied Sciences. I also have an Associate in Arts degree in the same curriculum. I have a Chemical Engineering degree and a degree in Engineering Management. So I love science quite a bit, you know. I would definitely send me a DM, SMS. I want to check it out by all means. NA Live, absolutely. NA is just, it sounds great. It's so gratifying when you do well. Welcome back, Arnef. But the challenge is, it's a lot of work. Turbocharging is so much easier. It's so easy. It's so easy to be turbocharged. It's absolutely fantastic. Hello, Bragg Designs. Good seeing you. Social is Bisimoto, just how you found me here. Just Bisimoto. You're funny. RNF, pool services, you know. BML saying, just watched my YouTube video about Purell, very informative. Still had a question. How does Purell 2050 compare to Mobile 550 before the engine is up to temperature? That's a great question. So, fantastic question. Very good indeed. Now, for those of you who may or may not know about the nomenclature when it comes to oils, that first number, W, is like a winter number. It doesn't mean weight, it means winter. That's how the oil pumps when it's cold. So it has a very lower number of viscosity, and opposite to what fluids do. Usually with a typical fluid, when you heat it up, it gets thinner. Well, with oils, when you heat up the oil, it gets thicker if it's a multi-viscosity oil. Now, how does that happen? How can you take a fluid that naturally wants to thin out when you heat it up and make it thicker? Well, what is added to oils, to multi-viscosity oils, are what are known as viscosity modifiers. And these, in a very elegant way, are just glorified polymers. Now, guess what, guys? Guess what breaks down the easiest when a lot of heat is introduced into an engine? The polymers. So, when you have an oil that is a 0W50 or 5W50, you're taking a very thin oil as a base oil, and you're adding tons of viscosity modifiers to get it to thicken up to a certain weight when it's up to operating temperature. And the more viscosity modifiers you have, guess what? The more ability for it to coke or to burn down. So, I'm a huge advocate of oils that are very close together. Now, if you're in Scandinavia or you're in Greenland or somewhere where it's absolutely snowing, if your engine calls for a 0W40 and you put a 0W50 or 5W50 and you put in a 2050, you'll notice it'll be a little bit harder to crank the car when starting. But once it's started, it doesn't matter. So, that being said, based upon my experience and what I prefer, and the fact that I don't like viscosity modifiers, I'm a huge advocate of getting oils that are close together. So, a 20 weight oil when cold is actually not bad at all. And a 50 is a protector that we need based upon what our engine calls for. So, I'm a huge advocate of, even on my Viper, which is right behind the inside right there. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. There you go. The factory calls for a 0W40, but I run Purell 10W40 in it. And I like the fact that it's closer because it doesn't have as many viscosity modifiers. So I hope that helps, you know. Oh, I love the stickers. Yes, Limeball did a good job. Really, really cool sticker. I love his stickers indeed. It's really cool, you know. Hey, Jay Turnt from San Bernardino, neighbor. We're here in Ontario, California. Good afternoon. Hope everything is well. And thank you for joining us on another cool episode of the Bisimoto Tech 2 Zen. We're already halfway in, plus halfway. It's amazing. I love talking to you guys. You guys are like friends and family to me, and it makes time go by like that. So thank you so much. Top Secret USA, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Which of your cars do I drive the most often? I would say the car I drive the most often, and please don't be sad. 2018? Yeah, 2018 Hyundai Ioniq Hybrid. I drive that the most. From a performance perspective, I would say it's almost a tie between the Viper and the blue Porsche from a performance perspective. Living is saying, watching today but not many questions. Oh, I've been talking nonstop. You know, I've been talking nonstop. And then Dylan, good seeing you, sir. Yeah, I already dropped off the new Porsche project at Paint, so I'm starting early with my SEMA project this year. So they went to Paint on Monday last week, which is pretty cool. So that being said, I prefer the quarter mile because I can have a lot of fun with the quarter mile. I can pop my shoe, which is really cool. So much fun doing that. But the 8th mile is great for testing, and you don't put as much wear and tear in your cars when you go 8th mile. So I like both, but quarter mile is really cool. I like quarter mile quite a bit, you know. Thank you, Jay. I wonder which program that was. Please do tell, you know. Boosted All Day said, what are the benefits of ductile iron sleeves in aluminum? Well, it's a great question, Boosted All Day. When you push a lot of power, which means a lot of heat, when you have sleeves that are purely aluminum, the coefficient of expansion of aluminum is much, much higher. So what it means, it tends to move away from the walls of the cylinder quite a bit. You can get blow-by, you can have opportunities where you don't have great stability with pistons, especially in higher RPMs. And believe it or not, when you push a lot of power, especially in boost, you can fracture the aluminum much easier. By removing all the material, which we do a lot at Golden Eagle, one of my partners, and they put a ductile iron sleeve, that issue goes away. Above and beyond that, many of the aluminum sleeves are open decks, so that doesn't do very much for stability, but with Dr. Iron, you can have these pillars that buttress around the outside of the cylinder sleeve and allow you for much more integrity and not much vibration as well. So in a nutshell, for strength and reliability, I'm a huge advocate of impregnating Dr. Iron sleeves into aluminum blocks, you know. Thank you so much, Cube52, and I'll be out there very soon again. They did kick me out from over there once for my inside being too loud because I'm not muffled, you know, but you know, it's pretty interesting. Mr. Freak is saying, what is the horsepower record on your dyno? It is a record that we cannot see. And why is the record we cannot see? Because my Blue 911 and my Genesis, I think I put a video up on YouTube as well. If my memory serves correctly, I have a video of it where the V6, Hyundai Genesis shut down my dyno. So once we got, I think, north of 1100 horses, it showed a torque, anti-torque red screen, and it shut down the dyno to save it. And the poor blue Porsche did that as well. So that being said, I have learned better. Those two cars have done that. Which of the cars say is the hardest to work on? Ooh. Hey, Duran, which do you think is the hardest car to work on here? I would say from engine building, it'd be anything with M96, but the engine bay, probably the center seat, because it's so hard to get to things. Yes. Yeah, Duran agrees with me. It'd be any center seat mid-engine vehicle like that 986 up there. So mid-engine cars kind of don't give you much space to have a lot of fun with. It's very challenging. Yep, Genesis gang. Kevin says all the Porsches are hard to work on.
Any Boxster.
Yeah, any Boxster or Cayman. Anything with a mid-engine, it limits us.
Specific.
Was that? Which Civic?
Heddy's specifically.
Oh, so Heddy's specific Boxsters to work on. Oh my God. Garcia says, hello Bisi, would it be more a benefit to ceramic coat your exhaust manifold or to heat wrap them? It would be much more efficient for the longevity of your setup to ceramic coat. Not only does it give you the nice longevity and beauty, you can also coat in and out, but one thing about header wrap is when you wrap it, it cools, it keeps the heat in the combustion, it keeps the heat in the exhaust system, but it also retains moisture from the atmosphere if you ever clean your engine or get it wet. And that moisture stays soaked in the header wrap. And then when you start up the engine, it goes down, it disintegrates the header, it can disintegrate welds. So I'm a huge advocate of not only retaining the beauty of your exhaust system, but also ceramic coating them. And if you need help with that, we can have your unit ceramic coated in beautiful luster silver or black. So we can help you with that as well, you know. Is your Civic a VTEC engine? Yes, Oliver. The Civic wagon, does have a K24Z7 head, which is purely VTEC. It has VTEC on intake, not exhaust, but it does have it. The inside, on the other hand, runs a F22A non-VTEC engine, which has nothing VTEC anywhere near it, you know? 2015 GTI with DCT versus 2017 Genesis Coupe RS. Ooh, DCT is pretty awesome. I love DCT gearboxes. VW, did a great job in having that together. The R spec has way more power potential, as we've proven. And if you like rolling your gears, by all means, but man, GCT is badass. And if you have the budget to get a Euro R, do it. That'd be the way to go. Ricker says, essentially Porsche is one of the sickest Porsches out there, man. Awesome to see you chat with fans like that. Thank you so much, Ricker. I'm here to help. And this is something I wish I had when I was growing up. And it's just my way of giving back to the community. TFT Performante, good afternoon, good seeing you. How much do you charge for power pools? No tuning, just 150. For 150, we can just do 3 pools for you, where we do document not only your fuel ratios, which we can put either in the exhaust or in the exhaust system itself. We also, if it's a car that's OBD, we can record your OBD and show and record and share with you everything your ECU does from OBD perspective, even in factory format via the dyno. And last but not least, I do record your intake manifold vacuum and pressure. It does a great job in telling us about the health of your engine and also if your intake manifold is sufficient for your engine as well. So it's not just seeing how much power you put out, we provide you a lot of data and also some information on how you can improve your setup as well. Thank you so much, 610. He said, thanks for the knowledge. It's very interesting. Thank you so much. Focus, all right. Hello, Brolin Krabs, DC5R. Good seeing you. Ever thought of a 356 build? Yes. You know what's weird? 356s in the back in the day were like cars that people didn't even want. But Rod Emery's done a good job in making them very popular, and I have. Their suspension leaves a lot to be desired. So if it's something where we can upgrade it the same way Rod does, then it would be something I wouldn't mind doing. But the prices of those cars have gone up so much now that I may end up just sticking with classic 911s, which I'm building one right now for SEMA. Yes, reservation is required, DJ. By all means, just call us up here at 888-922-6686, and Lindsay will be more than happy to get you in the calendar. You know? How do I feel about Porsches being fined today for emissions? I haven't seen that at all, Leviticus. If anything, I've seen more of my Civic Si clients getting fined, and not one Porsche person I know. Not one at all. So I haven't seen that. Hello, Upchuck. Good seeing you. Thank you so much for the kind words, Club 5500 RPM CMT. I appreciate that indeed. You know, does it make sense to tune an engine with one camshaft without turbo? So if you're asking about, I need some clarity on your question, Oliver. Are you asking about tuning one camshaft on the dual cam setup, like what you do with the K series engines that have dual cams and also variable cam timing on the intake? Or do you mean running a single cam engine by itself, which is what I have in this insight? Please let me know. Secret Service AP is asking what my next build is. The very next one, which we've started, is a Porsche 911. So I have a Porsche 911 build, which I keep talking about, probably will be the most amazing thing I've ever done. I'm going to have to drop the mic after that. We have that. I have a center seat, which I don't think you can see over there. A gentleman asked me earlier today about the MR2, what the deal is. Because I'm building this Porsche, which should be a very good project for us, I have to slightly delay the MR2. It's still going on, but I have to delay it, you know? Dion is asking my top two memorable or favorite builds. I would say it would be a tie between the Bisimoto Blue Porsche with the twin turbos hanging out the rear and the Odyssey. Single camshaft engine. Oh, yes, this is a perfect example for that. So I make north of 400 horsepower to the wheel on this. Did that, well, over almost 10 years ago. Jeez. So that being said, there's tons of power potential with a single cam. The only caveat with a single cam is if you want to change your lobe separation, you have to actually grind it into the camshaft, which on twin cams, you can easily adjust the intake and exhaust separately. But once you get that nailed down, once you have that lobe separation optimized, you don't have to touch it. Anything else you're doing is just moving the power band to and fro. Do I have any cool hobbies outside of automotive world? I love traveling a lot. I love experiencing wonderful cuisine. So and I work out. So I love working out. So those are things I do outside of car stuff, you know? Do you think that that I may be fighting technology with single cam? Cube, no. Every setup has its limitations. So even though twin cams give us the advantages of, let's say, maybe a lower hood clearance or the ability to individually adjust intake and exhaust cams separately, the one caveat of many twin cam engine designs is that because of that hood clearance requirement, you have valve angles that are not very advantageous to large lifts. So one perfect example is, let's compare the two engines that are near and dear to us in terms of what's right behind me. Let's say the F22 versus its cousin, the H22, the H22. The H22 is a twin cam engine. Out the box has decent intake and exhaust flow. And the F22A has decent intake and exhaust flow as well. The F22A is a single cam, so it has one cam in the middle and has these rocker arms that have to reach pretty far away to then actuate valves, while the Prelude H22 has direct actuation via rocker arms that can, just like what you may see with a B series, that are very shorter and don't have as much mass and so on and so forth. But the challenge with the H22 is the valve angles aren't very conducive to very high lift numbers. So because of the twin cam, the valves have to face each other more and they can contact if you go oversize. And above and beyond that, they don't give you the ability to go very high lift without contacting either. While the F22 has a valve angle because the cam is in the middle and the engineers don't want to make the rocker arms reach out so far, the valve angle is a lot more conducive for performance, so you can go as high as, dare I say, 600 lift plus and go as much as 2 to 3, even sometimes 4 millimeter valve oversize and not have any contact. So that being said, from a performance perspective, which one do you think is better? Yep. Why have you not built a VW? Is it because it's a Honda rival? No. The reason why I haven't built a VW vehicle is for the same reason that I haven't built anything from, let's say, Subaru or McLaren or Maserati. I don't have a relationship with those OEMs. I am lucky enough to where I have a ton of support from the Porsche Club of America. I have tons of support from American Honda. Recently, we've started to do some things with Mazda, so don't be surprised to see something from us with them. We're starting a budding relationship with Lexus. Hyundai has been a great partner for us. We did some for Ford, and when we have an opportunity to work with a manufacturer, they help us tremendously offset costs for R&D. And that being said, when the day comes that we have a relationship with VW, either the overseeing company or VW again directly, you will see many cool projects from us. Thank you so much, DY. A young Seo could sing as well. I see a question came here, a very good one, about, ever thought of building a 360? I just talked about that a moment ago. 3 generic, you kind of missed it, you know? 13B mega ported. A 13B peripheral port would be awesome, wouldn't it? Street port is cool, a bridge is great, but peripheral would be the way to go. I just go all out. That's what I do. I love that. I love the sound of those. Those are really cool. 31 Power, good seeing you. Julius Prime, good seeing you as well. Thank you so much, guys. It's so good to see all of you. Oh, Tim Anderson. Oh my goodness. Say hi to Tim for me, please. Revenge of the Fittest. Good seeing you. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And we're talking about a lot of cool stuff. I talked everything about how you shouldn't really stress out about things, don't think things too seriously, and how you consume information and how you react to something happening to you can induce stress. So that's one thing that I say that it's not a good thing to do. I talked about eating heat shielding gaskets. They're very cost effective. People drink coffee. That's more than this. People do drinks in one evening more than this. So for $24, and that sale won't go on forever, you can get a heat shielding gasket from us and have a blast, which is pretty nice. Do you have any knowledge on the 935 K3? I have tons of knowledge, Alex Cook, about that. I love the 935, the Kremer 935s in particular, whether it's the 1, 2, or 3. And I do know about the 1 street issue that cost over $800,000 that was driven all across Europe years ago. So I do. Have I raced the King Kong Porsche? No, I have not. How do you feel about the D15B7? I like those. I play around those engines. They have a lot of potential. Boosted wakes that thing up. And we have about 35 different profiles for camshafts for that engine. Hello, Igor from CA Tuned. Igor is a very talented builder. I love he actually inspires me tremendously. He builds these gorgeous BMWs with old school look and modern technology and newer components in a older chassis, and he puts a lot of creativity into his builds, and I really respect him as a builder. He's a great guy, you know? Yeah, Y7s are cool. Absolutely. Hello, Iham Belaruszi 09. Oh my God, time is passing. Can you believe that we have spent 50 minutes together? How crazy is that? What is my dream vessel? It's a good question. Here's what my dream vessel would be. We just talked about 935, right? A 935 K3 with all Mission E or Taycan Porsche internals with future comfort. So you look at like, oh my God, this is a badass K3, but it has all the modern technology of an electric vehicle with all the power to boot and creature comforts. That'd be awesome. A boosted jet ski? No, not a boosted ski. Does upgrading the cam and a single cam like a Z6 or Y8 cancel out VTEC? No, Ernie. You can, especially, no one makes more power with single cams than we do. So that being said, when it comes to performance parts, we're the place to go to. So you can have a Bisimoto level 1, level 1.2, level 2, level 2.3, 2.4, level 3, level 3.6, level X. They all retain VTEC. All of them do. Now, if you're going carbureted, it'd be best for you to lock VTEC out. But if you inject it, yes, it does not. If anything, the VTEC is an advantage. It allows you to eat your cake and have it too. You can have low RPM torque and drivability and high RPM power. It's absolutely fantastic. After 7 Garage asks, are there any more plans for the Civic wagon? You missed out big time. So, as early as this morning, we upgraded some toe arms in the wagon, which is right there. That's why it's near the lift. I'm taking it to alignment tomorrow. Weather permitting, we'll go testing it on Thursday. I've done all the beauty shots with Super Street. I've done a bunch of events with it. We went to IBOC this past weekend. it's time to have some fun with it on the track. So, long story short, our plans are to track like crazy, get data, break stuff, and fix it, and keep going. You know. So that being said, it's quite a bit. Where did I learn all my Porsche knowledge? 2 places, Alex Cook. Doing a lot of reading and interacting with gurus in the industry. Reading and interacting with people. That's where I got my knowledge from. A lot of my technology when it comes to engine building for Porsches is just me infusing what I've known from motorsports in the past and putting my own twist to them. You know. Why don't people build turbos for V8s like the Energy F1 turbo? It's coming. People are actually starting to do that, Dominican cousin. People are doing a lot of V8 stuff. They're starting to see, I mean, if you go to even someone as simple as NRE, Nelson Racing Engines, a majority of builds they do nowadays are boosted. It's starting to infiltrate. What started to be very heavy sport compact is now going very heavy domestic. And these guys are going freaking fast, you know? 3 Generic says, I love your blue bomber Porsche. It's beautiful and beast. Thank you so much. And if you love the blue one, wait till you see what I'm doing this year. You will freak out. Good night, Club 55 RPM CMT. And that may be my cue to be able to leave very soon. I won't be able to stay much longer. Thank you so much, Dominican cousin. Appreciate the kind words indeed. Yes, Cube, the wagon is coming back. This is a different wagon, but nonetheless, it will see much more activity than the last one, you know. Not Aaron West is asking, are your older Porsches still air-cooled? If so, what is the strategy for keeping them nice and cool? That's a great question. So I have a bit of a mixture here. So I'm going to turn the camera, and those of you maybe able to see this on YouTube, but I'm going to turn the camera to that right there.